Rock and metal invasion. Rock and metal invasion. Rock and metal invasion. Rock and metal invasion.
Hi, welcome to Rock and Metal Invasion. My name is Steve. Coming up on the show today, I'm doing my top 10 hair metal songs written by outside songwriters. So I'm going to count down my top 10 hair metal songs that were written by people not in the band. And back in the 80s, this had started to become a bit of a thing. And sometimes bands were getting outside songwriters to help them write a song or even just using one of their songs that they had written. Now, for my top 10, I'm very strict about the fact that the song has been written only by an outside songwriter. So it's not like a collaboration between someone in the band and an outside songwriter. It's just purely an outside songwriter. And it's not a cover song. In other words, it's not a song that another band had done and then they're covering it. So it's a song that has, to my knowledge anyway, not been released any time before. And the band are using someone else's song or someone's song that's been written for them, and they are a hair metal band. It's a hair metal song, and this is my top 10. They're all great songs, I think, even though they weren't written by the band. And of course, arguably some people would say, if you're in a band, you should write your own songs. But this was what was happening in the 80s, especially. I guess Desmond Child would be one of the main guys for that. Had massive success with Bon Jovi and Aerosmith and Alice Cooper. The thing I will say though with Desmond Child is he usually wrote a lot with the artist or with the band. So he does feature, but he only features once on here because, yeah, like I say, usually he's actually writing with the band that has the song on their album, and so that doesn't quite count. These are purely songs where it's no one from the band has written it. Okay, so a good example. This is actually not my number 10. It's, I guess, my number 11 or an honorable mention. And it's a great song though. It is from the album Squeeze by Fiona. I really like this album. And the song that was written by an outside songwriter is the last song on the album, and it's called Life on the Moon. And believe it or not, it was written by Janie Lane from Warrant. Really good song. I don't quite know what the purpose of the song was, if Janie just wrote it specifically for Fiona, or maybe it was a song that he was thinking about putting on a Warrant album. But it's a really good song. Ends the album, and that's the example of what I'm talking about, where it's an outside songwriter, in this case someone quite well known like Janie Lane, outside songwriter, and someone not from the band, and that song has made its debut on the album that no one else in the band has written. So, and in this case, it's Fiona. So go check that out. Life on the Moon, really good song. All right, so that's my kind of honorable mention. Let's get into the top 10. Coming in at number 10, I went with Missing by the band Icon. That comes from Night of the Crime, a really good album. This is a really good album, good melodic hard rock. I've mentioned this band and this album many times on my channel. Now that song is written by Bob Halligan Jr. Again, like a little bit like Desmond Child, but not as big, of course. But well known for writing songs with other artists or for other artists. And the song Missing is a Bob Halligan Jr. song. Really good song, and that is my number 10. All right, number 9, I went with, now again, I'm talking hair metal songs, and some people might think this artist is not hair metal, but I think at this stage, at this particular time, there's quite a hair metal sound happening. So I went with Duro and the song Unholy Love. At number 9, Duro and Unholy Love. Now, of course, when she was with Warlock, it was probably a little bit on the heavy side, more metal perhaps, but on this album, and really, even arguably the album before this, but certainly the album after this as well, she's sort of embracing the hair metal sound, is using outside songwriters, and actually has Gene Simmons doing, well, Gene Simmons is the executive producer for this album. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but anyway. But also associate producer is Tommy Thayer and Pat Regan. So maybe they're the real producers. But anyway, the song I chose coming in at Number 9 is the opening track, Unholy Love. So, Unholy Love was the opening track, and also there is a music video for that. And that is written by Adam Mitchell and Phil Brown. Now, Adam Mitchell, if you're a Kiss fan, you might already be aware of, did a lot of songwriting with Kiss and with Gene Simmons as the the executive producer. I guess that's where that connection comes in. Phil Brown, I don't know too much about him, but he does come up on some albums in my collection, especially Kicks. I know he's been a songwriter for them. So yeah, so that was the collaboration there. Unholy Love, really good song, and that's my number 9. And yes, my copy of that Duro album comes with a lovely poster, and I thought, as soon as I've got the album out, I will show you. There she is, Duro from 1990. Lovely poster. All right, number 8. This is a lesser known band, and the band is Blondes. And the song is the second song on the album, and it's called Hands of Love. Now, a really good song. Here, the guys at the back. Really good song. That was written by Jolyn Turner, believe it or not, and also a guy called Tony Bruno, or Tony Bruno Ray, who you might know from Soraya and also Danger Danger. So yeah, I'm not quite sure why those two were working together. Maybe they were writing for maybe a Jolyn Turner album. I don't know, because I know that Tony Ray does end up playing with Jolyn Turner later on in his solo albums throughout the 90s. Or maybe they were just, writing for other artists, and, that's what's happened here, and Blondes has picked up on that song. But yeah, really good song. So coming in number 8, that is Hands of Love by Blondes. All right, coming in at number 7, Black and Blue. So this is from their album Nasty Nasty. This is their third album. And there's another Gene Simmons connection here, because this one's actually produced by Gene Simmons. So not executive produced, it's produced by Gene Simmons. And the song I selected for number 7 is I'll Be There For You. So I'll Be There For You is my number 7. And that is written by Jonathan Cain from Journey. And it definitely does sound different to any of the other songs on this album. It's a really good song, though. I think they're going for that sort of Bon Jovi type of sound. It's got some keyboards in there, but really good commercial hard rock. There was a music video for it. Really good song. I think if maybe some Black and Blue fans wouldn't have liked it because it's quite commercial, but it doesn't really sound like the band. But it's a good song. I really like it. So yeah, that's coming in at number 7, Black and Blue, and I'll Be There For You from the album Nasty Nasty. Coming in at number 6 from the debut Vixen album. So this is the debut Vixen album, of course, all female band, and you might be able to guess what song I'm talking about. Although there are a few other outside songwriters on this album, but I went with Edge of a Broken Heart, which was actually written by Richard Marx and Fee Waybill from the Tubes. Richard Marx, of course, well known as a solo artist, and that Edge of a Broken Heart was, I think, the first single from that album. So there's a music video for that. Really good song. All right, coming in at number 5, my best hair metal songs by outside songwriters. I went with Keel and the song Somebody's Waiting. So again, there's a music video for this one as well, and it was, I think, the first single. And this is from their self-titled album. This is probably my favorite Keel album. I think it's really good. I'm surprised it wasn't a hit. Look at the music video for Somebody's Waiting. Very much a Bon Jovi type influence music video. They were even touring with Bon Jovi when this album came out, but surprisingly enough, it didn't blow up for them. But another Bon Jovi connection. The song Somebody's Waiting is actually written by Jack Ponti, who used to be in a band with John Bon Jovi, and also a guy called Russell Akara. And Russell Akara and Jack Ponti used to be in this band, Surgeon. So I don't know if they wrote that song for a potential Surgeon album. I don't know. This was really the only one that came out in the 80s by Surgeon, but then since then other sort of albums by them have come out as sort of like, I guess, unreleased songs or demos or whatever. But Somebody's Waiting has not ever been listed as one of them. So to my knowledge, the only way you can hear Somebody's Waiting is on that Keel album. All right, so one, two, three. Yeah, so that was number five. Coming in at number four. This might be one people aren't aware of as being from an outside songwriter, but actually got three outside songwriters on this one, and lesser known artists. So, well, lesser known songwriters. So, this is Hurricane. The song is from Hurricane. I really love this album. Unfortunately, I have the censored cover, but Slave to the Thrill is the album. And the song I've gone with is Next to You. Now, Next to You is actually, like I said, it's got three songwriters. You've got Brad Parker, Franny Goldie, and Wendy Waldman. So, not songwriters I'm overly familiar with, but Next to You is such a great song. And I do know that Wendy Waldman actually wrote the song Heartbeat that Don Johnson had a big hit with, but initially it was on Wendy's album, I think in the early 80s. So there we go, there's a bit of a connection there. If you know the song Heartbeat by Don Johnson, that's a Wendy Waldman song. But yeah, those three people, they're all songwriters, they're all outside song, or all songwriters themselves. I guess working together there to come up with that song. And there's a music video for that one as well, Next to You by Hurricane. Really great song. And it's interesting, isn't it? With a lot of these ones that have the outside songwriters, they're the ones that also get the music video. So I guess that's part of it. They're really going for that hit. So they're thinking this is the hit song, get the outside songwriter in, get a music video done. And I mean, yeah, interestingly though, with a lot of these ones that I'm showing, they actually weren't hits. But great songs though. So that was number four. Coming in at number three, it is my favorite Femme Fatale song, and there was a music video for this one as well, and it's Waiting for the Big One. So from the debut album by Femme Fatale, of course, Lorraine Lewis on lead vocals. Really good song. Now this one is written by David Cole, who's also the producer. Now he only produces one song on this album. The rest of it's produced by Jim Farrisee. So Jim does most of the production, but for that one song, Waiting for the Big One, David Cole is the producer, and he's also the writer. And the other guy credited is Rick Naylor. So he is also, if you look at his credits, he's also done a lot of songwriting as well. So yes, two songwriters on that one for Waiting for the Big One. And that's my number three. Really love that song. My third favorite hair metal song from an outside songwriter. Also, just one more thing I wanted to mention. There's a song on here called Rebel. I just quite recently realized that's a cover song. So that song initially was written and recorded by a guy called Reg Laws. And then it was also done by Manfred Mann and also Karen Lewis, who I've talked about. She's from the band 1927, but on one of her solo albums, she did a version of Rebel. I think that came out around 81. So if you want to hear other versions of that song Rebel, they are out there, and you can hear the original version if you pick up Reg Law's album as well. All right, but let's get into the final two. My top two hair metal songs written by outside songwriters. So number two, I went with Angel in Black by Bangalore Choir. Really love this song. I think it's a fantastic song. Now, this one, interestingly enough, is written by Steve Plunkett. So, the band Autograph, I think, have pretty much broken up at this point. But I think, this is my understanding, because the Angel in Black does turn up on the Autograph album The Missing Years later on in the late 90s sort of thing. So I think potentially it was written for a future Autograph album. That didn't happen, and then it was picked up by Bangalore Choir. Really great song. The band do a great version of it. Really heavy song, great kick-ass way to kick off the album. And yeah, I really like that. I like the Autograph version too, but my favorite is the one done by Bangalore Choir. And probably maybe because that Autograph version is just a demo, I think. This is a fully fledged, well produced by Max Norman. Yeah, so it sounds great. And I really like this album as well. So David Reese on vocals. Really good stuff. It's a good album. My favorite song though from this album is probably Angel in Black, and it's my second favorite hair metal song written by an outside songwriter. So what is my number one hair metal song written by an outside songwriter? Well, it is from this album, believe it or not, Paul Dean, Hardcore Paul Dean from Loverboy. This was the debut of this song. Now it has been put on other albums, but this is the debut of the song, and the song is Sword and Stone. And for me, it's the best version of this song. Now, this song was written by Desmond Child. So there we go, Desmond Child has turned up, Bruce Kulick, and Paul Stanley. And I think it was recorded for the Crazy Nights album, but for whatever reason, they decided not to include it. I mean, I actually like Crazy Nights. If they'd put Sword and Stone on there as well, oh my gosh, it would have been, I would have liked it even more. But I guess there were a lot of Paul Stanley songs already on there. I think my understanding was Ron Neverson, the producer, didn't really think it would fit. It made sense on that album, but crazy that it didn't make Crazy Nights. I think it's a great, such a great song, and never turned up on a Kiss album. And I think you can hear it, Kiss's demo version of the song online, and you can also hear Bonfire do a version of it as well. But for me, and this was the first time it came out, the best version is Paul Dean's. So that's my number one hair metal song written by outside songwriters, Paul Dean, Sword and Stone. Anyway, let me know what you think of my top 10. What are maybe there's some other hair metal songs that have outside songwriters that you think are really good? Let me know. I'd love to hear from them. Hear about them. If you like this type of content, make sure you hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you later. Thanks for watching. See ya.